Well, we've come inside today because it's a bit too wet outside, and we're going to teach Lizzie to stand. And this is very useful if we're grooming or at the vet's, anytime there's a part of Lizzie's body we need to examine. So to teach Lizzie to stand, we're going to start in a sit position and lure her with a piece of food held at her nose and drawn forward so that we can bridge and reward as soon as she stands. Lizzie, sit. Stand. Good girl. Stand. 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 Good girl. Stand. Good girl. Now that she understands the gesture, I can fade the lure and keep the gesture, then bridge and reward her as soon as she stood. I need to be very quick with the delivery of the food, so I've pre-prepared some treats in my left hand because she's developed an automatic sit, and if I don't get the food to her quickly enough after bridging, then she's likely to sit again. And I'd prefer her to stand at this stage of her training. Lizzie. Good girl. Sit. Stand. Good girl. Sit. Stand. Sit. Stand. Good girl. Lizzie. Sit. Stand. Good girl. Sit. Stand. Good girl. What a good girl. Stand. 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 The next thing to do is to start extending the duration of the stand up to about several seconds. Good girl. I've still got food in my left hand here so that I can deliver the treats quickly to start with. Sit. Stand. Sit. Stand. Sit. Stand. Sit. Stand. Stand. Good stand. Good stand. So far, we've only been teaching Lizzie to stand in this situation, in this room. So although it might work well here, it may not work so well when we take it outside, to the backyard, on walks, or even at the vet's. To help Lizzie understand that stand still means stand, even in these different situations, we need to help her generalize the behavior. This means showing her that the cue has the same meaning, even in situations other than the one in which it was learned. Helping Lizzie to generalize the cue to stand means practicing it in lots of different circumstances. I could dress differently. I could give her the cue while standing up, sitting down, lying down. I could practice in different situations, like in the backyard, the front yard, the living room here, the car, at the park, at the vet's, even at friends' places. And I could change other things, like practice on different surfaces. Try asking her to stand while she's on a table. Because each of these situations represents a different challenge for Lizzie, I've raised the criteria for her, and this means I may need to go back to a few steps with training to lure her again if needed. I also need to watch closely for any signs of stress because I don't want to over-challenge her, and I still want her to have a positive association with each situation in which I'm teaching her to stand. Once I've completed my training with her to stand, other people need to do so as well. So I'd ask family, friends, the vet, people I meet on the street, also to help me teach her to generalize her stand. With a lot of practice, she'll come to learn that the cue to stand means stand regardless of who gives it, where it's given, or what she's doing at the time.